This is Reviewer03, bringing you another plausibility check. Today I'm going to examine a claim that all the major manga series are going to end soon. And when I say major series, I mean series with an actual plot, and not never-ending crap like Case Closed Cooking Papa Addicted to Curry, Shinchan, or Captain Tsubasa. Wait a second, this shit is still going on? Actually, two major manga series have already ended this year. One was Negima and the other was Air Gear. Both series were over 350 chapters long and had been going on for 9 years. All the other major series are still running, but the question is for how long. Let's start with the big six, or more specifically with One Piece. Now, unless the creator gets sick or tired of this series and decides to give those guys a Stargate or teleportation device that will transport them to the lost island of the Grand Line instantly, then this manga will drag on for another 6 years or so until it has reached 1000 chapters. Next we have Naruto. The real identity of Tobi has been revealed, Naruto has learned to tame his pet fox, the whole backstory has been shown, and everything is ready for the final confrontation between Tobi, Naruto, Sasuke, and everyone else who wishes to join. And I don't think that this confrontation will or can take longer than some 50 chapters. So Naruto will probably end 1 year from now with some 660 chapters. Let's continue with Bleach. Now, we know that the 1000-year Blood War arc is the final arc, so the only question is for how long will it continue. By now the Quincy's managed to destroy Soul Society and retreated to their base, while Ichigo has unleashed some new power of his. In my opinion, we can expect the following now. The explanation of the backstory of Ichigo's mother and the Shinigami Quincy War, then perhaps some training between Ichigo and Ishida to fully unleash his new power, the reorganization of the remaining Soul Society forces, and the attack against the Quincy base, which will culminate in a great confrontation between Ichigo and Bach. This will take some 50 chapters, I think, so Bleach will probably end next year in autumn or winter. Now we have GIntama. Okay, I have no idea when this series is going to end. It could be in 2 months or in 20 years. Since GIntama is an episodic comedy series, I think that it's up to the creator. I'm certain that he wants to make at least 500 chapters, and he could very well go up to 1000. But if he loses interest, he could end this series next year already, so it's hard to tell. Next is Fairy Tail. Now this series could end pretty soon, in some 30 chapters right after the Great Magic Games, since the backstory about Zeref and the dragons is pretty much revealed. But personally, I think that there are still 2 arcs ahead of us. One arc in which Natsu and his friends are transported to the past, where they meet Zeref and play a major part in a human-dragon war, and another one in which they return to their own time and destroy Zeref and Acnologia. So this series is either going to end with some 340 chapters next summer, or should my speculation be correct, with over 400 chapters sometimes in late 2014. Now, let's talk about Soul Eater. This series will end pretty soon, because the final confrontation with the Kishin is already underway since some time, so I think that it won't take more than an additional 20 chapters until the story is wrapped up. As for the question when Soul Eater is going to end, it's hard to tell, because the Soul Eater chapters are nearly twice as long as ordinary manga chapters, and therefore their release varies. Sometimes a chapter is released after 3 weeks, sometimes it takes over a month. So depending on how fast they will release the chapters, Soul Eater will end either next year or in 2014. Last on my list is Last Order Battle Angel Alita. Now this series is relatively unknown, but it's my favorite manga series, because it's the best one. Apparently it's so good that no one has the guts of making an anime series out of it. This series has been going on since 10 or 20 years, depending on how you count, but unfortunately it's nearing an end. Zex has become as powerful as Zeka, Alita won the Tzot tournament, and Mabadi has been apparently killed by Kaela. On top of that, all the backstories have been revealed. So either this series is going to end within 5 chapters or so, or there will be one more final arc. A final confrontation on Mars between Alita, Destinova, and a mysterious woman I suspect is Erika. In that case, we can expect another 20 or 30 chapters or so. Unfortunately, the Last Order chapters are released so randomly that I can't say when this series might end. Sometimes a chapter is released after 2 months, sometimes it takes half a year. I haven't mentioned all major series out there, like Gantz and Hunter x Hunter, because I haven't read them yet, but overall it seems that most big series are going to end within the next 2 years. So the big shonen-like series, which started with Dragon Ball in 1984, will be pretty much over by 2014. With this, manga and shonen will enter a new age.